Welcome to the RP Funding Center in Lakeland for live streaming coverage of the girls basketball 3A state championship game. Today we have the Somerset Prep Hurricanes coming in at 22-4, facing off against Orlando Christian Prep. OCP, the Warriors, 26-5 on the year. Thanks for joining us here on MySpectrumSports.com. Rishi Barron with Travis Jones to bring you the action. And Travis, we will start with Somerset Prep star Taisha Battle, one of the two seniors we'll see on the floor, and she's a firecracker out there.
Oh, a perfect last name for her, because that's what she does each and every night. She comes to battle.
Well, she's in the starting lineup that features 3 8th graders. Joining her in the backcourt, Micaiah Simmons, 5'7", coming off a very good semifinal. Then it's Zaria Blake and Maya Kone, a 6' 8th grader who is getting interest already from schools like Louisville, USF, and Maryland, and Alexis Gibbs, who had a fantastic game as well in the semis. That's your starting lineup, and their head coach, Henry J.R. McNabb. This is his first season as the head coach, Travis. Just 5 months ago, he was a travel ball coach, and here he is in the state championship game.
Well, he looks too young to coach. It looks like maybe he goes to the school, and he's a student coach at this school, but good for him to get here this young.
He fires them up for sure, a very talented young team. And on the other side for OCP, Aliyah Irizarry, 5'11", sophomore forward and a captain, and she brings the punch too, inside and outside for OCP.
Only a sophomore, great size though at 5'11", nearly averaging a double-double, over 17 a game and over 8 rebounds per game.
Joining her in the starting front court, Elsie Ramirez, a 5'10" freshman forward, and at center it's Kiana Gussie, 6' junior center. And then in the backcourt, Ciara Brown, a 7th grader who's a lockdown defender, and Nicole Rolone, their only senior, a captain, 18 points in the semifinals. And their head coach already has a state championship from earlier in his career, Chris Senecola, and very proud to have OCP here fighting for another one.
Yeah, he's learned from the best in Mark Rickman at Pinecastle Christian, and now he's brought this OCP team to Lakeland, try to bring home a state title for the Warriors.
The cheerleaders are ready, and so are the players. They look pretty loose out there for everything that's on the line. It's Aliyah Irizarry. She will jump at center court with Zaria Blake, and we are set to get this 3A state title game underway here at the RP Funding Center. And this should be a fun one, Travis.
Yeah, we've got two really good teams. The records speak for themselves, 22-4, 26-5, two of the best girls teams in the state, ready to do battle.
Somerset Prep wearing the blues, the whites for OCP, and the Warriors win the opening tip.
Somerset comes out with a very long, odd front, trapping half-court defense, and already giving problems to OCP.
They play hard on both sides of the floor. An early block for Maya Kone. She's averaging 7.3 per game, and they force the turnover.
Somerset Prep, the Hurricanes, that defense looks like a hurricane, wreaking havoc already.
Coach McNabb, he's worked this team so hard, and he says he puts some pressure on the girls every day to get in the gym and work hard and put the work in to get the results. The results have gotten them here.
And one thing you learn about coaching girls in basketball is they will run through a wall for you.
Strong take by Gibbs to the hole, put back off the rim from Kone, and the big rebound for Gussie.
So both teams kind of in that feeling out phase at this point, but I like the way OCP's attacking the rim early.
Rolone a little too strong off the glass. Gibbs pushes ahead after the rebound. The Somerset Prep team just in its 4th year of varsity existence, 2nd straight Final Four, 1st state title appearance.
Both teams fairly new. We hear the name OCP a lot because of the boys team. They've been to the Final Four so many times. But both of these teams relatively new to the girls basketball Final Four.
Rolone called for the travel before the collision in the paint, and that pressure defense already creating some results for the Hurricanes.
OCP, the opposite of any kind of pressure, really settling in a real passive half-court defense. man-to-man, but not real aggressive in it.
Open look from downtown is good for Taisha Battle, and we have our first 3 points of the game.
And I remember her from last year here in Lakeland with this Somerset Prep team. Real calm, real confident. Don't let that 5'2" frame fool you.
She had 24 points in the state semis last year, 22 more this year. Last year, playing with her sister Brianna, who has since moved on. In fact, only 2 players back from that Final Four team last year. Another 7-member team like what they have today, but fresh faces, Travis.
Yeah, that bench over there for Somerset Prep is pretty lonely. Only 2 people over there. Hello, girls. But the risk you run there is your pressure defense can get you tired, can get you fouls, and those 2 things can really make you go to that bench, which you don't have a lot of options.
First foul on Nicole Rolone. She got into a little foul trouble in the semifinals, and Micaiah Simmons rolls in the first free throw.
And you notice Somerset Prep doesn't have anyone on the lane during free throws. This is one way to already be back on defense, save your legs a little bit with that limited bench.
2 for 2 for Simmons, who's a captain of this team as an 8th grader. And Coach McNabb handing her the starting point guard duties as well. That's a lot of responsibility.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed here today. I called the 1A and 2A games. We've seen some 7th graders. We've seen some 8th graders. And I can't imagine the pressure that you're under at that age, but you really don't see much of them succumbing to that pressure.
5-0 lead for Somerset Prep out of North Lauderdale. 5:38 left here in the first quarter of the 3A state title game. Good defense inside by OCP, and the Warriors will get the ball back.
Somerset doing a good job of attacking the basket. Sometimes, especially early on in games, teams settle for outside looks, pull-up jumpers. Good job by Simmons at constantly attacking the rim for Somerset.
Off the hands of Rolone, and here comes Somerset. Battle draws the foul on Irizarry.
Great job by Battle. Took the contact, absorbed it. That's one that, again, only 5'2". If she was just a little bit taller, could finish that and get the and one. But she knows her limits. If we think about the modern day Isaiah Thomas in the NBA. He knows his limits, that he's kind of the shortest guy out there, but he creates space and angles and is very, very efficient.
Reminds you a little bit of him, doesn't she? She's got that fearlessness and also the range from outside.
Absolutely. And what's always shocking to me is this generation only knows one Isaiah Thomas. They don't know about the NBA Hall of Famer that played for the Pistons.
Good guy to be named after for sure. Somerset Prep, we mentioned their youth, 3 8th graders, 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and a senior in their lineup. And their 2 top scorers are 8th graders, and you have to say the future is looking bright for Coach McNabb in year 1 and beyond.
Well, that's what's really unique about private school basketball, is that you can throw younger kids in there and they can get great experience by that. And then you can really stockpile for the future that way as well. You just got to keep them all at your school. Make sure they don't go anywhere else.
Battle usually reliable at the line, misses both free throws, but didn't take long for the Hurricanes to get the ball back. Whistle on the Battle along the floor. This game being officiated by the Lake Region Basketball Officials Association, and Nicole Rolone. 2 fouls again. That limited them early on in their semifinal win over FAMU. Couldn't press as much, and now she's dealing with that again.
And Coach Senecola has received his first warning here early in Lakeland. The fans didn't agree with that call, but
No.
I like the call. When a defender dives for a ball and takes out somebody's legs, it's got to be a foul.
Beautiful feed inside from Battle to Zaria Blake. Her first 2 points, 7-0 Somerset Prep.
And we've talked about how Taisha Battle can score and run, and all of those things, but really the way she sets her teammates up is what's special.
Blake picking up the foul on the other end of the floor. Orlando Christian Prep OCP looking for its first points nearly midway through this first quarter, and the turnovers continue to mount.
And that's what becomes frustrating now. Their 6th turnover, and that one wasn't forced. If they're playing a trapping defense, that's one thing, but she wasn't even being trapped. Just really an unforced error.
OCP knocked off the 3-time defending state champion FAMU to get here, and another basket inside this for Micaiah Simmons. She has 4 points.
And that's always dangerous. Try to dribble through a trap. Doesn't work out well too often.
Earning a trip to the line, Ciara Brown, 7th grader who coach told us ice water in her veins, no moment too big, and she hit a huge 3 in that win over FAMU that put them ahead to stay during a 12-0 run in the 3rd quarter.
I can't imagine a 7th grader on this stage, especially right now at the free throw line. There's really no background to the basket. To get up here and knock these down, even to be in this game as a 7th grader. I was more concerned about if I had enough Star Wars action figures when I was in 7th grade. I can't imagine shooting these free throws here at the Lakeland Center, the RP Funding Center.
How many action figures did you have?
I tried to get them all.
Chewbacca?
Boba Fett was, of course, my favorite.
Well, Brown is not a great foul shooter, misses both. Offensive rebound, though, by Elsie Ramirez. And in the middle of the trees, 5'7", Micaiah Simmons comes out with it.
Pretty good job there by OCP, their transition defense, as Somerset is really forcing the issue offensively. OCP getting back in transition D, getting a stop. And a tough shot, though, at this end.
Ramirez can't hit, or Brown that is, can't hit, but the putback is good, and we have our first bucket by Ramirez. 2 points for the Warriors.
Elsie Ramirez finally gets the lid off of that rim, and that's all you really need to get started. You've got to get that first basket.
Their first trip here got the nerves out of the way a little bit in the semifinals, but it has been tough with a lid on that hoop so far against Somerset Prep, and maybe a little momentum here for OCP.
That's all it takes. Is get a score and a stop, and you're right back in it. But another travel.
Rolone, who is known for taking the ball to the hole, aggressive, which is what Coach Senecola says he wants him to do. Not settle for outside shots. Unfortunately, turnovers getting the best of them. 8-0 so far.
Well, that one basket by OCP has got Coach McNabb calling a timeout. He's like, what are we giving up a basket for? What are we doing out here?
Let's take a look at the bracket for how these two teams got here. Again, the win for OCP over FAMU, a team that had won 5 of the last 6 titles in its respective classes. Huge win for the OCP program to make it to its first championship game in a long time. Made it to the Final Four in 2006, one of 3 straight Final Fours. On the other side, Somerset Prep had a little bit of a battle against Bradenton Christian, but then blew the lid off in the second half.
Yeah, anytime you can beat Florida A&M, you know you've done something. I miss them not being here. I enjoy saying baby rattlers throughout the night.
Kone triple teamed, and Irizarry with the steal. She takes it coast to coast and gets herself a bucket with that left hand. 9-4 game.
Great job by Irizarry avoiding the contact, giving up a charge there. The defender was set up to take a charge. Irizarry right around her to the basket.
Only a 5-point deficit in spite of having more fouls than points throughout most of this first quarter. Irizarry nets another steal. And she earns herself a trip to the line, and that aggressive play by Irizarry, it's turning into something.
Almost a similar play as the one before where she kind of went right, then left, went to the other side of the rim. This time got hacked, though. needs to convert from the free throw line.
Irizarry leading the team in scoring and rebounding. First free throw up and good. She's a 66% foul shooter. And Coach Senecola very happy with the way they performed at the line in the semis, a big part in that win.
And that's the big what if, or the big mystery, I should say, when you come to Lakeland, is how are your girls going to shoot from the free throw line because of the lack of backdrop, because of the pressure, the bright lights. And to have them come in and make free throws consistently is a big plus.
6-0 run for the Warriors, who started the year with 11 wins. And a nice, nifty right hand there by Battle. She has 5 points.
Taisha Battle continues to drive the basket, force the issue offensively.
So does Irizarry, who gets her own rebound and has scored 6 straight points for the Warriors.
And she's feeling it now. She understands that this lack of offensive power early on in the game, she doesn't want to see that anymore. She's going to put this team on her back and try to score as much as she can.
11-8 game. Irizarry started the semifinals with some trouble from the field, but her aggressive play ended her day with 18 points. 6 already early on.
And OCP sticking with their man-to-man defense. Excellent play. It's the best play in basketball to step in and take a charge. Unselfish play. It's a change of possession. It's a personal foul. It's a team foul. And it's the first charge I've seen taken all day.
Something OCP did well in its last game. Chance to tie it up with a 3 here, or cut it to 1 with a 2. Good interior defense from the Hurricanes.
Now what we've seen from Somerset Prep, their offense is pretty simple. It's kind of a clear out, penetrate, and go to the rim. Not a whole lot of movement. OCP's got to be quicker to help defensively as people are driving.
Final minute of play here in the first quarter. Battle drawing the foul. Nearly another charge taken.
But what you do there, even if you don't get the call, it's in the head of the offensive players at this point. They know they just can't come flying in off the 1 foot in there. People are stepping in and taking charges.
Battle missed her first 2 attempts from the line. Not this time. She's up to 6 points. That last foul on Rayleanne Rodriguez, a junior who has missed a lot of this season with an ankle injury. Came back at the end of the season and has given him a nice boost in the playoffs. Extra pass does the job. Elsie Ramirez has 4, and it's a 2-point game.
Good job by Nicole Rolone to drive baseline and get the assist. So if you're OCP, you're feeling really good right now. You were down early, looked like you weren't going to score. What you want to do here is get a stop, get momentum to go into that second quarter.
Simmons floats it up, no good. Ramirez clears the rebound. Rolone draws the foul in the paint.
And that's where Alexis Gibbs could have stepped in and taken a charge there, as Rolone was a little bit out of control, but instead Gibbs kind of just bails out and gets the block call.
So after weathering the early storm of the Hurricanes, a chance to tie at the line for Rolone. Nothing but net on the first.
And this is what you like if you're Somerset Prep with a little over 7 seconds left. This is right in your wheelhouse because you're used to a fast break, a high up-tempo momentum type offense. So really want to attack, make or miss here towards the rim.
And we're all tied up.
Well,
Battle will heave it. And that's the end of an up and down first quarter for both teams. It ends up in a 12-12 tie. Gotta love the grit, Travis, of this OCP team.
What a great quarter. OCP looked like they were down and out, really battled back against Somerset Prep.
1 quarter in the books, 3 to go. We'll be back with the second here in the 3A state championship game here on MySpectrumSports.com. (12-12) your score as we start the second quarter here at the RP Funding Center. OCP here with a 26-5 record, looking for its first state championship since 2005, and got a little catching up to do to the boys there, Travis.
This happens on campuses a lot, high school campuses, whether it be boys and girls basketball or the football team or the baseball team. There's some peer pressure, and there's it becomes infectious. Of teams wanting to win, wanting that culture. They want their banners in the gym as well.
Brianna Miller, one of the reserve forwards for OCP. Her brother Brandon, part of those championship glory boys teams, now plays at Gardner Webb. And some hustle into the seats there by Irizarry after hoisting the NBA-like three.
Yeah, that blue line for the Lakeland Magic here. I'm glad I never had that line here when I brought my teams here, or they'd all have been launching behind the NBA line.
Irizarry had one like that in the semifinal game, trailing by 4. And Coach Senecola said he was yelling about, that's a terrible shot. All of a sudden she makes it, and that starts that 12-0 run. And he said, I was fine with it after that.
Yeah.
The defense has picked up for OCP, forcing the travel.
Yeah, and the confidence that Somerset Prep started out with in this game may have gone away a little bit as their defense is starting to give up some hoops offensively, turning the ball over some.
Rolone, bounce pass. Ramirez can't finish, though. Somerset likes to push the basketball, and it results in a foul underneath.
That's what Taisha Battle is really good at. We've seen it a few times now, is drawing that contact. She takes not a great shot. She's kind of running out of bounds as she shoots kind of a hook shot. But that's twice now she's drawn contact on that shot. If you're OCP, just get your hands up. Avoid the contact there. Easier said than done, though.
Battle rattles it home. 7 points for her. Coach McNabb said that he likes to reward his team for working hard in practice by letting them play that wide-open offense that results in a lot of running and a lot of three-point shots.
Yeah, you'll see some coaches that do that, especially if it starts on the defensive end. If you get stops, then you can run. You can run and gun a little bit. Some coaches, she turned her ankle. I hope not.
Irizarry.
I get nervous when I see 2 knee braces and someone go down like that. But no, she tweaked her ankle there. Tough kid, though. Back on defense.
Would hate to see her have to come out the way she's played in a spectacular first quarter for her and her team. Here we are in the second with 6:30 to go and a 1-point deficit for OCP.
And OCP getting better at their man-to-man, not giving up as much, closing down, driving gaps.
That's at least steal number 3 for Irizarry. Came in averaging 4.5 per game in that category. And a foul in transition may be the second on Irizarry.
Yeah, that's just a fatigue foul there. Not getting back in transition, fouling at half court instead. And when you're the best player on the team, the option A offensively, you've got to stay out of foul trouble.
There's one weakness Coach Senecola sees in Irizarry's game is it's the fact that she kind of needs to slow down sometimes. We've seen her push it, maybe take that foot off the gas pedal here and there.
Yeah, you need different speeds. And the better basketball players know that you got to play at different speeds at different times.
Substitution into the game, Anna Knight, the 5'6" sophomore guard. Her dad, Bud Knight, one of their assistant coaches, he had a business meeting yesterday, had to miss the semifinals. He was in Ohio. She was FaceTiming him right before the game, and Coach Senecola was like, what are you on your phone? And then he realized why. But Coach Knight is here, able to make it for the state final. Behind the back dribble from Irizarry. Shot too strong, but the effort for the rebound and put back two gives OCP its first lead of the day.
And that may be their best offense, a missed shot with Irizarry in there cleaning up the boards. No one for Somerset Prep is boxing her out. No one is standing up to her right now.
She has 8 points. Somerset looking for the answer. And what a shot! That is an 8th grader, ladies and gentlemen. Micaiah Simmons, the captain, and she's up to 6 points. Battle all the way. Simmons, the rebound, no good. Third opportunity. And on their 4th or 5th try, the Hurricanes get the basket and the foul.
And right now it's Simmons and Battle. Those two are really carrying Somerset Prep, whether it be attacking the rim offensively, getting second shot opportunities. And a grueling pace right now for two teams that don't have a lot of options coming off the bench.
Call on Elsie Ramirez. Simmons has matched Irizarry for game-high honors with 8 points. Chance to make it 9 and put her team up by 4. .440 left here in the second quarter. Somerset holding on to a 3-point lead. Rolone to the hoop. Got hacked on her way there.
And Rolone is one, like we've talked about with Somerset Prep. Rolone is someone for OCP who is really doing a good job of finding gaps, getting to the rim, dishing the ball. And they need all the help they can get offensively. Irizarry's been carrying the load for OCP.
And the semis, 36 of the 49 points scored by the Warriors were from Rolone and Irizarry. Nicole is yet to hit from the field, but has a chance to make her 3rd free throw of the game. Cuts it to 2.
And here comes a full court press. I like it. I like OCP mixing things up defensively. Don't let the other team get too comfortable.
Kone, after the press is broken in style.
And that's what you want to do if you're Somerset Prep. You always want to try to punish a team for thinking they can press you. Attack them and get them out of the press.
In and out for Simmons. Second chance thanks to Blake. Simmons rainbows a 3. And it's 22-15 with 4 minutes left in the first half.
Good job, Simmons. She really wanted to take that Lakeland Magic three-pointer, but she stepped in and took the high school one. Hey, right to us.
You almost had a chance to congratulate her in person for that shot.
Man, so close. I've never caught a foul ball either.
Never, not at any level?
Never.
I've never done it at a big league game. Irizarry cleans up the glass, and on her 3rd opportunity is blocked.
Good block by Christina Grant. One of the 2 substitutes, I believe, comes in and gets a block.
Coach McNabb calling her the one girl he can count on to be there at 7:55 in the morning when he says 8 a.m. And he can count on her for the block show, too. Into the game again is Gussie replacing Ciara Brown for OCP. 3-point shot no good for Anna Knight.
Saw a good set underneath out of bounds play by OCP. It's good coaching because that's an opportunity. It's almost like the special teams of a basketball game. Your out-of-bounds plays, trying to score off of them.
It's the Warriors' biggest deficit since the early 9-0 lead. Another rejection, and here come the Hurricanes. Making them pay. Taisha Battle, second three of the game. She's up to 8 points. Excuse me, she's up to 10 points. And it's a 10-point game.
They go as Battle goes. I know Simmons is doing it too. But Taisha Battle, she's their leader. She's the shortest one on the team, but they follow her lead.
Smallest girl, biggest heart. Came over 2 years ago and has been to 2 straight Final Fours for Somerset Prep since transferring from Blanche Ely.
And one of her teammates elbowed her in the forehead as they were going to elbowed her in the nose as they were getting into the huddle.
This is the thanks I get
You're
for
right.
that, right?
That might be someone who wants a little more playing time, trying to get her on the shelf.
So Somerset has opened it up here with 3:16 left in the first half. Had an early 9-0 lead. OCP battled back, took a lead briefly, but Somerset Prep has picked it up a notch the last couple of minutes.
We saw OCP answer the bell for that first lead that they gave up. Let's see if they can do it again here to end the second quarter. Lots of time, 3 minutes left. You want to chew away at this 10-point lead, at least cut it in half. Go into that halftime with a little momentum.
OCP's 2 stars, Nicole Rolone and Aliyah Irizarry, both with 2 fouls. So monitor that here in the end of this first half too. Irizarry rainbows the 3 a little too strong. Tracks down yet another rebound. Nice hustle, can't keep it in play. Irizarry is going to be close to a triple-double the way her stat line's going.
She's everywhere. Everywhere offensively. The anchor on defense as well.
Has at least 4 steals that I can remember. Has to have more than 5 rebounds and leads the team with 8 points. Basket good by Christina Grant. We saw her block it, and now we see her finish it.
Yep, that's twice now she's tried to dribble through a trap.
Battle with the 3-on-1. And a foul called after Simmons grabbed the rebound. Believe it's on Knight.
So the problem right now with Irizarry, she's having a tough time trusting her teammates, I think, right now. She's trying to do too much. I understand she's the best offensive weapon out there, but she needs to pass the ball over and through that trap and then get it back and score.
First chance on the state championship stage for Micaiah Simmons, and she has responded. Leading scorer in this game with 11 points.
And I talk about this a lot. Young people, some are just wired different than others. And you see it on this stage to where they're really oblivious to what's around them. As an 8th grader, we saw a 7th grader earlier tonight. And some kids are just wired that way, that they don't care. They're just going to go play their game.
Close out on Elsie Ramirez. Finally an open look for Irizarry, but she can't hit.
Somerset looks real comfortable with their defense right now. They're long. The traps are solid, and they're wreaking havoc right now.
Battle gets the steal and draws the foul. It's on Elsie Ramirez.
That'll send them to the line. Their 9th team foul makes it a 1-on-1. Next foul will be a 2-shot foul regardless.
Check that, they give the foul to Gussie, her first.
And this time right now, the dead time is valuable for Somerset. With only 2 people on the bench, this is a time for all 5 girls to just relax, rest. This is almost like a timeout right now. It's so quiet in here, and they can just rest and relax, really.
Battle with 12 points here in the first half, closing in on her average of 16.1. More importantly, they're up by 14 points. Good setup by Rolone for Ramirez, and she'll go to the line.
And that's what Rolone has done. That's one of the few bright spots right now for OCP, the way she is creating off the dribble. Drives baseline. Nice dish. Doesn't get the assist, though, several times tonight. She could have had assist opportunities, just her teammates haven't been able to convert.
Coming back in, Raylene Rodriguez. Out goes Ciara Brown, and Elsie Ramirez will have a second opportunity at the line. Normally reliable there, but misses both. Somerset Prep, only one of its wins all year by less than 10 points. Can you believe that? They've won 22 games.
Got an assistant coach behind us in the stands. Yelling at the team. That's one thing about coaching. There's always lots of help.
Oh, yeah.
Always lots of help up in the stands.
Well, you've been in this game, what, 3 times in the state final? I'm sure you got some help from the stands in those.
Oh, yeah, I had more than enough assistance up in the stands.
Zaria Blake, basket and a chance for a 3-point play, and this game is starting to get out of hand here.
It is, and OCP has got to answer the bell with a minute left. They got to come down, score, get a stop, and score again to really chip away at this lead. But I'm not real optimistic the way the Somerset defense is playing right now.
Rolone gets it knocked away. Fast break opportunity for the Hurricanes. And give them 2 more. 2 more for Micaiah Simmons. 13 points.
And she finishes as well as anyone I've seen in this tournament so far.
Make that 15 points and 6 rebounds. And we'll have to take a look at halftime at these turnover numbers, but a lot of that due to the pressure from Somerset Prep.
Yeah, and it's because they're so long. It's Zaria Blake at the top of this odd front half-court trapping zone. When you have someone really tall up there, she's 5'11", it really wreaks havoc on the offense. You really can't get into what you want to.
Kone turns it over, so maybe a chance for a last shot here for OCP. The drought has been going on throughout this second quarter.
If you can hit a shot here at the buzzer, it gives you a little bit of momentum as you run into that locker room.
The Warriors only have 3 points in quarter number 2.
OCP's ball underneath. Another chance for them to run an underneath out of bounds play. Maybe get a score here.
Instead, one last chance to run for the Hurricanes. Battle. Rare miss on a layup.
She was too open. She's used to that being contested.
But that'll bring us to the end of the first half. The second quarter absolutely owned by Somerset. 22-3 to open up a 19-point lead. Very similar to what we saw in the semifinals when they exploded for 23 points in the third quarter to break things open.
IP merchandising booth inside the arena to purchase your official FHSAA Basketball State Championship souvenir. Team IP, the official merchandise company of the FHSAA. Florida Dairy Farmers is a proud supporter of student athletes and their families. Farmers know it takes hard work and long hours to excel in the classroom and on the court. Visit FloridaMilk.com to see how dairy farmers across the Sunshine State work hard every day to provide fresh, wholesome milk. Thank you to the following Championship Committee Gold supporters: Publix Chinese Chicken, Outback Steakhouse, Olive Garden, Chick-fil-A, Fred's Market Restaurant, Jimbo's Barbecue, Country Chicken and Fish, BD's Mongolian Grill, Domino's Pizza, Grillsmith, Bluebell Creameries, and the Village Inn. The FHSAA is on Facebook and Twitter. Go to facebook.com/FHSAA and become a fan. Or go to Twitter handle FHSAA. On the site, you can keep up with teams and people who strive to make high school athletics in the state of Florida the best. That's facebook.com/FHSAA and @FHSAA on Twitter. Be a fan of it all. state champions by getting past Fort St. Joe 54-45. In the 2A finals, the Kissimmee City of Lawton Christian Academy Lady Warriors won the 2A state championship 51-34 over the Calvary Christian Academy Lady Lions.
We're ready for the start of the second half here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. Somerset Prep 34-15 over Orlando Christian Prep as we get ready for the third quarter. And let's take a look at those first half stats. The glaring one at the bottom, 16 turnovers, or 16 points off of turnovers for Somerset Prep off of 15 Orlando Christian Prep turnovers.
All those turnovers, what's their mascot?
They are the Hurricanes.
Well, I think maybe we need a turnover chain here for this Somerset Prep team. It'd get worn out having to put that turnover chain on around their necks with all those turnovers, but it's the points off of turnovers that are so important.
Well, let's take a look at our comparison of the stars here in the first half or after the first half of play. Micaiah Simmons, 15 points compared to 15 for the entire OCP team.
Well, they're tied at least. They're tied. Her and the rest of the team are tied. But, yeah, you're not going to win a state title. I understand having a superstar and a best player on your team. But when you get to this level, some other people are going to have to chip in more.
The Atlanta Falcons have heard the number 28-3 since their Super Bowl loss. For OCP, it would be 22-3 because that was the score in the second quarter, and that's where Somerset Prep really blew this game open.
Yeah, I'm not sure Tom Brady's walking through that door for OCP right now. But just a game here where Somerset is really forcing their will upon OCP, and it doesn't look good. But that halftime speech, now you're not a coach at halftime of a game like this, you're a salesman. If you're OCP's coach, you're selling hope. You're selling hope to your team. And if you're the Somerset Prep coach, you're selling to not let up. Don't get complacent.
Somerset Prep in blue taking the ball with a 19-point lead, and Coach Senecola over at OCP said one thing he's gotten from this team every game of the season is effort. He said he's never had a game, and this is the first time in coaching boys and girls basketball he's ever been able to say this. They've never let down on him all year, so we know they're going to fight here in the second half. And
they're going to have to. But unfortunately, that fight isn't going to get baskets for you. And that's where they're really struggling. They just can't get to the rim. They can't find the rim. They can't get good shots.
Maya Kone drawing the foul, and that is number 3 on Aaliyah Arizari.
But at this point, there really is no foul trouble. You really just got to play through at this point. Last game of the year, last game of the career for some of these players.
Kone with 3 points, and Coach McNabb told us just this past Saturday he saw her dunk at practice and said if there's an opportunity late in this game and they have a big enough lead, he's giving her the green light. There she swishes 2 free throws for a 21-point lead.
I can't wait to see it, but more than that, I can't wait to hear your call when she rises up and dunks.
Oh, man.
The pressure's on you now.
I'm all for it. Bring it on. Have you ever seen a dunk in a girls' game?
No, not with these two eyes. I've never seen it on television, of course, but nothing live.
They get the foul on Taisha Battle, her first. OCP trying to cut into this 21-point deficit. Irizarry driving strong and put 2 more next to her name in the scorebook.
Such great body control around the rim, again, avoiding the charge. Slip sliding away to the rim.
She has a team-high 10 points. First points for OCP in a while. They had a nice run in the first half. Can they do it again? Battle making the issue a little more difficult with that floater.
And there's the answer for Somerset Prep. Any kind of run that OCP has, their leader, Taisha Battle, is going to put a stop to it.
She has some interest from Barry University and Palm Beach State, among others, and there's a hoop.
And this is what we want to see. We want to see a back-and-forth game here. Regardless of the score at this point, we just want to see teams battle. We want to see teams compete. because this is the last game of the night, the last game of the year, and like we said, the last game of some of these girls' careers.
Irizarry on the other end with the big right hand, and it goes off of Simmons' OCP ball. Little momentum, the basket by Rolone, and then the block from Irizarry.
And Simmons hasn't had much to worry about getting to the rim. She's usually gotten to the rim at will.
Irizarry changed the texture of the game against FAMU in the semis with back-to-back blocks late in the first half, and then things started to get rolling, but one thing that Coach Senecola said is everything this year for this team has been set up by their defense and their strong defensive play. It's hard to match up against this Somerset team, especially when they run, but little defense could turn things around a little bit here.
Well, that's where it's got to start. You got to string together some stops, and that's a good point in getting a block there instead of letting them just get to the basket. But OCP's got to find their offense too. You can get as many stops as you want, but being down this much, if you can't score, you're in trouble.
Well, the pride of Puerto Rico has fueled OCP today. Nicole Rolone and Aaliyah Irizarry both coming to this program 3 years ago from Puerto Rico and turning them from a 7-win team into what they are now. They made it to the regional final back-to-back years, and now they're playing for a state championship. Open court steal, and Simmons will add 2 more.
And Simmons has been everywhere on this court. She's not the top of this zone half-court trap, but she's the one who reaps the benefits from the trap on the other side.
Ramirez from the elbow.
And that's a good look. Irizarry, another good look at the rim, and they just can't score.
Battle took an extra step there, and fun to watch Coach McNabb with her. He got a good laugh out of that and said, all right.
Now she's smiling too. That's so nice to see. It's so good to see young people smiling, even though they're so invested in a game, in a sport, trying to win a state championship for themselves, for their school, for their teammates. But to have a good time while doing it's very special.
Well, Coach McNabb has been working with a lot of these players as travel team ballers since 5th grade. Some of these girls that are in 8th grade, he's been working for the last 3 years with them. And, boy, I bet they have a heck of a travel team. He's had a lot of success there, which is a big part of why he got this job.
You see a lot of that, of travel ball coaches, whether it be a Winning Ways type situation or an AAU circuit coach. They really get the itch during the summer, and then they want to keep scratching during the winter.
17 points for Battle. She's battling with Simmons for game-high honors. Irizarry off the glass and in, and she's up to 12. (43-21) your score here in the third quarter of the 3A state title game. Third of 9 that we'll have here for you on myspectrumsports.com. Appreciate you tuning in with us today. Rishi Barron and former Edgewater and Winter Springs head coach Travis Jones. He's won a state championship before. Where does that rank in your life accomplishments for you?
Well, it was the worst year of my life, unfortunately, but it was fun to win that state championship back in 2004, and you just feel so good for the school more than anything else, and the pride and your players. And you tell them in the locker room, I hope this isn't the best thing you ever do with your life. And a lot of them have gone on to do great things.
Scary moment there as Blake came in and ran over Irizarry, but she's right up off the floor.
15 yards.
She is tough, isn't she?
She is. She's going to sleep well tonight. Not only is she scoring most of the points for OCP, but she's been taking some serious hits coming across the middle.
Jump ball called for. arrow looks like it's going OCP's way. Irizarry, we mentioned her connection to Puerto Rico. She's been wearing shoes with the Puerto Rican flag and the words Puerto Rico all season long. Lots of national pride. And she said, you know, you never forget where you came from. And Rolón said the same thing. And they've shared this journey together here to, you know, Orlando, their time there, and they've had quite a connection. What a shot by Irizarry.
And right back up, it gets back on defense. So this is all you need if you're OCP is get some momentum, build some energy off of that momentum, keep looking to get easy looks around the basket, and then defensively string some stops together.
There's those shoes that we spoke of. Let's see if she'll turn them for him. There's the flag.
Yeah, Puerto Rican flag.
Ramirez just off the back iron.
Yeah, they've had so many of those opportunities. It could be a completely different game right now if they would have cashed in on all the easy looks around the rim they've had.
Second chance, put back, good by Blake.
And we've talked a lot about Blake being the top, the long arm top of this half-court trap. It's nice to see her get some offensive firepower as well.
Well, you can add that to the turnover chain. Somerset Prep has just coasted through most of this season. Their only losses this year to Coconut Creek out of 6A by 7 points, Fort Lauderdale's Westminster Academy by 10, Pompano Beach Ely by 2, and American Heritage Plantation, who we'll also see here in the Final Four. And again, most of their wins by huge margins, and good spin move by Rolón to get to the line.
And Rolón has come a long way with this team this year, and she does. None of the girls want this to be the end of their story. They want to go out swinging, keep driving, keep forcing the issue. And if you do lose in the state championship is one thing, but you don't want to quit down the stretch, that's for sure.
Well, Rolón told us yesterday that she felt from day one this season they could be here and have a chance to compete for a state championship. And here they are. They're not going the way they want it to, but tremendous effort by this team.
And their only senior out there, it's different for her right now. That she knows this is the last time she's going to put this uniform on. And it's a great way to go out, playing on this floor for a state championship. Obviously, you'd like to win this game, but you know what your story, how your story ends tonight.
5 of her 7 points today from the line. Still down by 20, though. 18-2 off turnovers for Somerset Prep. Blake is making a living down there on the post. She had a double-double in the semis.
Here we see Blake, long arm, getting the rebound, almost the and one.
That's 4 on Irizarry. Blake, one of those 3 8th graders that is starting. Last year they played for a team, the Pompano Middle Tigers, went undefeated, won the county championship. And this is just a special group.
It really is, and you see how well freshmen in college do, how well rookies do in the pros. And it's just, the kids just keep getting younger and younger and doing things that I could have only dreamed of at that age.
9 now for Nicole Rolón, the senior captain. Why not? Battle threes it up. Her 4th three-pointer tonight.
She was waiting in that corner patiently. Finally got it, and it's kind of an awkward release, but it looks pretty.
And Irizarry goes down hard, continues to fight. Battle has now played in 3 Final Four games in her final 2 years. She's one of the other senior, I guess I should say. Not one of the other. There's only 2 of them on the floor. 24 in the semis last year. 22 in the semis yesterday, and now 20 playing for her first state championship.
Yeah, and we started this early today with the 1A game. You and I make up the entire MVP committee. You and I get to vote
Okay.
on who gets the and all we have though is a water bottle. Is a nice bottle of water for our MVP. So
And who is the front runner with a quarter to play here?
well, it's got to be Battle at this point. I know that's who I'm voting for as of right now. It helps if you vote for her too, because we don't have a tiebreaker.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's getting a fight from Micaiah Simmons. Chris McCulley, our producer, chiming in that he wants a vote. Unfortunately, his voice isn't on the airwaves, so we might be able to overrule him.
Yeah, that's right. We're the only voice that matters.
Rolone is putting together a heck of a third quarter. She's into double figures, and the lead is back down to 20. Final 30 seconds of this third quarter here in the 3A state championship.
Very smart for Somerset Prep to slow things down.
And there is your other contender, Micaiah Simmons. She's got 17 points, so I'm not ready to give anybody my vote yet.
That's right. Hold all votes.
A banked-in three for Rayleigh Rodriguez, and she will remember. She has been a fighter this year, missed from Game 6 until the end of the regular season with that injury. And something for OCP to smile about as we head to the fourth quarter. Somerset, though, 19 points on top right now, 1 quarter away from the first state championship in school history. Welcome back, Somerset Prep. In its 4th year of existence as a varsity program, 1 quarter away from a state championship, and we've seen some of that balanced attack throughout the night, Travis.
And that's the key to the successful team, and that's what we haven't seen out of OCP. OCP has kind of been a one-man gang, whereas Somerset Prep, all hands on deck.
Battle up to 22 points. 22 for her, 32 for OCP on this day.
And you're a team that really has thrived all season on run and gun, getting up and down the court, and you wonder if they can shift gears here a little bit and slow things down and be really patient.
Well, Coach Senecola has loved working with this group all year. He won the Class 1A state title at Pine Castle Christian back in 2007, early in his career, and he said it's been such a rewarding experience to be back here with this group.
To take 2 different teams to the Final Four is really special, because you know when you do it at one, you just wonder if you could do it somewhere else, and to be able to do it at 2 different places is really nice.
Here is Ari's pass taken away by Battle. Yeah, and one of his former players from that team who needs no introduction, Tynia McKenzie, she's part of this coaching staff now. She was an 8th grader winning that state championship over at Pine Castle Christian, and then went on to some success at Lake Howell before going on to play at FIU, and it's been great to have her to help build this team. And again, all but one of the players will be back next year.
That's what you take away from this too, is especially at a private school, like OCP, you're kind of anxious on that first day of school. Who's on my campus now? And you've got a lot coming back, and there's always room for more.
Rattling on in is Blake with the free throw, 54-32. You take away that second quarter, this is a much different game OCP and Somerset Prep even in both the first and the third, but that 22-3 run, it's hard to recover from that.
It really is, and it's almost like the wind is out of your sails at that point. When you go into that halftime locker room down so much, you took too many punches really in that second quarter to come back.
Irizarry no good with the first. This is an OCP team that was up at 8 o'clock every morning practicing, including in the holidays, a group that's been building for 3 years to get to this point. Looks like they're going to come up just one win short. But don't tell that to Irizarry just yet.
And that's been kind of the theme for OCP, is good looks at the rim and not converting.
And getting rolls like that have been the Hurricanes. And Blake, 3 members of the team now in double figures as she puts home 2 more.
I just like their demeanor too. These young ladies who just, they're smiling. They kind of have poker faces. They don't get too high or too low. I don't know why they get too low tonight though, because they've had a good lead for throughout the night. And
that's it for Nicole Rolone. She fouls out, and just a tremendous Final Four for her in spite of this result, and what a season she had.
It's so hard to convince young people to kind of backtrack and talk about what a great career they've had, what a great season you've had to be here. And to see emotion like that is really nice to see out of young people.
She said that semifinal win was the best game of her career. They beat the 3-time defending state champ, which had won 5 of 6. That alone, a lot to brag about in this Final Four. And Nicole Rolone leaving it all on the court again tonight.
So now you're really looking at OCP's team next year. You've got no seniors on the court at all. Girls that are going to take the experience of being here and being so close to getting gold. And that's invaluable going forward. It's good to bring a group back that was so close but didn't quite get there.
Elsie Ramirez will have 3 more years here. You've got her a returning starter. Ciara Brown, just a 7th grader. Riley Ann Rodriguez will be, we assume, fully recovered from that ankle injury. And then there's Irizarry, who's just a sophomore. Along with a cast of characters that includes Gussie, who played incredibly well this year, Anna Knight, Gisela Casado, Brianna Miller, among others. Irizarry off the steal. She's really padding that stat line. Unfortunately, that is also her 5th foul. So OCP's 2 star players have both fouled out after playing incredibly hard this entire game.
And it's some tough sledding now for OCP. As rough as this night has been, it's about to get a little more gloomy.
Irizarry, 15 points, 9 rebounds, and a ton of steals to go with it. And she has a bright future ahead, already getting recruiting interest from UNF and Tulane. I have a feeling that list is going to get a lot bigger when she plays a little AAU ball this summer.
Yeah, as special as it is to win a state title, the real recruiting starts in about a month for a lot of these young girls as they hit the summer circuit. I always told my players that you play for championships in the winter, you play for scholarships in the summer.
Somerset not taking the foot off the gas. They're here to play hard throughout it, and 3 more for Battle. 5 3-pointers for her on this night, 25 points, a new career Final Four high for her.
Well, that's the problem with this Somerset team. Normally you'd be yelling, take your starters out. You can't.
No.
You have to leave at least 3 of them in.
And you were just talking about the recruiting, Travis. One thing that Henry J.R. McNabb said to us yesterday was, look, this is obviously a huge stage for them, but they don't feel the pressure. They know the pressure is when they're on that travel ball circuit and they're having college coaches watch them and their every move out there.
Right. This is almost fun for them because there's no pressure. There's no D1 coaches sitting in the crowd per se. There might be a few that you really don't even notice, but when you play in those summer main event type games, when you're on the main court, the baseline is just lined up with D1 head coaches.
You've coached some travel ball. How much different is that world than this world?
Whew, night and day. It really is. It's all about individual stuff in the summer. And the problem is you play sometimes 5 games in a day and you don't even care if you win or lose. It's never about winning or losing. It's just about exposure for the players.
Well, that's what makes this so special. School Pride, a chance to win Somerset Prep's first ever state championship in just the 4th year of varsity program existence. And I tell you what, Zaria Blake has put together a heck of a second half.
She really has, and I really took notice of her at the top of that half-court trap. But then offensively, she's really blossomed here in the second half.
She's blossomed here late in the season. Did not play basketball last year because she had to deal with some issues with her family, and so she's a little rusty, but
you wouldn't know it.
You would not know at all. Certainly that rust has come off, and Coach McNabb loves her, calls her the goofiest girl on the team on a bunch of fun girls that enjoy every moment on the court.
I understand you can't take your starters out, but you can call off the press.
Yeah.
I think you can call off the press at this point.
Yeah.
If you're Somerset Prep. But I'm not coaching. I'm over here.
Oh, and you got a feel for Coach Senecola and his girls because their 2 best players are out.
Yeah, it's tough enough to break this pressure with your best players on the floor. Now with your 2 best players, your best 2 ball handlers on the sideline, this could get really ugly. I hope the Hurricanes take the pressure off here now.
What a year it's been for OCP. They beat both of the teams that just played in the 2A final right before this. They played Spruce Creek, 9A team that's in the Final Four, only lost by 2 points. 26 wins, just 5 losses, but not going to get a state championship, which they got in 2005. But maybe this is the next run of OCP basketball. 3 straight Final Fours from 2004 to 2006. This is a group that could make a similar run.
Yeah, sometimes you got to chop at that tree a while before you can knock it down. And sometimes it's like that with a program. You can't just go and win a state title. You've got to get there, stick your toe in the water a few times. They've got to take off the pressure here. Come on. Well, it might be looking for that running clock to get out of here early.
Well, and you would think that maybe the 2 players that are on the bench might give them a little more playing time here as well.
Yeah. I was talking last game how as a coach you always think of scenarios that how you're going to lose this game. I think even myself, if I was coaching Somerset Prep, I couldn't think of a scenario right now where I would lose.
Simmons with 19 points and 11 rebounds, almost made it 21. Blake is up to 17 points now.
And if I'm Coach Senecola, I actually like this. I like that they're rubbing it in my face right now because this is a great message to these young girls. This is something you can play this film for them when they don't want to work hard next year or they're not motivated to get better in individual workouts and stuff. You can kind of really play for them how Somerset rubbed this in their face basically.
And they are a family out there. They've gone through this grind of the season, all the ups and downs, but more ups than downs for sure. Meanwhile, we are in a running clock situation here with under 4 minutes to play, something that is not new for Somerset Prep. Among their wins this year, an 89-3 victory, 81-4, 72-6, 64-3, and I know your favorite, 79-1, Travis.
Are you sure those aren't typos? Are you sure you wrote that down?
I'm just going by what their schedule says.
Those
but
sound like typos.
But after watching them play tonight, it doesn't shock me.
Yeah, they don't take the pressure off, and maybe that was the case.
Elsie Ramirez coming out. Solid performance by her in this state final. Just a freshman.
Here comes Mariah Santana. Getting some burn here. Under 3 to play.
Santana was one of 2 players on this team that was in the state Final Four last year with Taisha Battle. They felt the sting losing to eventual state champion FAMU 59-48, a game that they turned it over 29 times, but they're getting their redemption today.
That they are. And if I was OCP right now, I might throw the ball up into the stands. It'd kill a lot of time. Kill a lot of time trying to get that out of the stands right now.
Battle comes out of the game. Actually, excuse me, Simmons comes out of the game and gets a big high five from their assistant coach, Chris Cardozo. He's the man that started this program up. First 3 years, built it, got a state Final Four last year. A lot of credit has to go for him with sticking on as an assistant coach and being part of something new in school history, a state championship. Great hustle by Jasmine Wright, the 8th grader, to tie things up.
Well, OCP still, as a school at least, still has their boys team that has a good opportunity to make it back here to Lakeland.
We think the boys team probably playing in the regional final coming up here soon. 1 minute to play. Twin towers of programs for OCP with this girls program back up and running in a state final just 3 years ago, a 7-win team. And with 30 seconds left, the crowd to its feet for Somerset Prep out of North Lauderdale.
Coach McNabb doing the show me the money sign. Not sure what that's all about.
And in just their 4th year of existence, the Hurricanes blowing through the competition to take the Class 3A state championship, a first for Somerset Prep. 70-34, your final score. Somerset Prep, after falling short in the Final Four last year, a state champion on this day, Travis.
And it never gets old to watch this. This is what I look forward to the most, is seeing young people celebrate, as hard as it is to see OCP right now, but it's really special to see a team that's been together for several months now, some of them several years, to really come to fruition tonight and win a state championship.
A great run for the Warriors comes to an end, but a great career for Taisha Battle ends on top. State champ, 2 Final Fours for her since transferring from Ely. And the Hurricanes end the year on a 10-game winning streak with an impressive performance here in the 3A state final.
And they were smiling the whole time. That's what I really liked about this team. Great attitudes by these young ladies. They made it fun. They were energetic, and the fun really starts now as they get to celebrate a state championship.
Gotta love seeing Taisha Battle celebrate, the one player that will no longer be with this team next year. The future bright for both teams, but on this night, it's Somerset Prep 70, Orlando Christian Prep 34. For Travis Jones, I'm Rishi Barron saying so long from here at the RP Funding Center. Plenty more state championship action coming up for you on March 1st and March 3rd here on MySpectrumSports.com. Good night, everyone.